Today is Women's Equality Day. According to Medical News Today, gender inequality impacts women all over the world in comparison to men through various avenues. This includes lower enrollment rates in school, fewer job opportunities, and unequal pay for equal work.
In addition to that, women tend to have more unpaid responsibilities, such as caregiving and overall household tasks. These gender disparities can significantly impact women's mental health in various ways.
So here to talk more about this is 9 News mental health expert Dr. Sheryl Ziegler. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, so what are women reporting about their levels of stress?
Yeah, the American Psychological Association does a stress study every year. So we have, decades of data, and women consistently report higher levels of stress, and their higher levels of stress transcend similar types of columns like finances and their health. But then there's the managing that work-life balance in their households, as well as the childcare rearing, the constant rumination, the constant worrying about how they're doing as parenting, the pressure on a mother, particularly a working mother to parent. Those are the unique stressors, and all of that kind of culminates to higher levels of depression and anxiety.
Now, you mentioned a list of them right there. I'm curious what the top reported stressors for women are.
Yeah, so let's start with money. Money is number one. And what's interesting is the stress for women around money is reported to be both the things that they need as well as the things that they want, or the things that maybe they think the kids should have. So this goes beyond maybe for men a lot more practicality, right? We need to make the mortgage payment, we need food, we need shelter, those kinds of things. Women think about all the other aspects of how money affects them. So not only do they report higher levels of money, but then it's very specific the types of areas that they are concerned about. So that's number one. But then number two for women is that unequal labor at home. So if we're talking about a woman who has a partner at home, especially if they have a family, they're saying, I'm working really hard at work, probably not making the same money as my male counterpart. Then I come home and the burden of the household tasks are on me, the child rearing is on me. And so it really feeling like this unequal labor causes this fatigue and stress and eventually burnout in women.
So you kind of touched on it, but what about working women who are also mothers? Like, it's got to be, I get it firsthand. It's so hard because it's just such a daunting workload.
Absolutely. And one of the things that, in different countries they call like mothering, different kinds of things, but there's really, we're still studying the impact of the pressures on mothers to be this incredibly perfect person. And in addition to you being judged as a mother, this is sort of a newer study too, there's the piece of you're a good mother if you do all the things for your kids, all the things for the house, plus work, and value their father. So that there's praise for the role of the father and that the mother is seen as somebody who needs to lead that as well. So there seems to be this additional pressure, and this is cultural. These things shift. Usually it can be a generation, it could also be decade by decade. Right. And they just study things like blogs and articles that women are reading or people are writing about the woman. There's these new pressures. So it's not getting any easier, although we're talking about it. It's actually feeling like it's getting more intense.
Right, and you say this to me all the time. You say you think you have so much to do, so little time. Try being a mom. And you're so right about that. And while, we need to give praise and respect where it's due, we also want to glamorize that and normalize it. We need to take some of the burden off that plate. What can be done?
So there's a couple of things. When we go back to the mental health effects that stress causes on women, we have to look at wellness and treatment programs that are actually tailored for women. You would be surprised at sometimes the treatment programs that we have right now, the kind of population that they're based upon. We call them, they're white, they're people who are extroverted, they're more on men. There's a very specific kind of population. So sometimes those kinds of treatments are then just applied to the general population. That's number one. But the other thing is really having something like flexible work schedules is really helpful for women, and obviously having equal labor division at home. And there are many ways to go about it, even if you're in it, even if you feel like, oh my gosh, I've been in this partnership for 10 or 15 years, this is the way it's always been. Make today the day that you say, you know what? We do have to sit down and talk about this. Yes. Here's what's really stressful for me. And so starting to have those kind of conversations and feeling like you are entitled to that's fair and equal, is a really good place and a good message to give to women, because that's a huge stressor for them.
Yeah. All that all gives me so much anxiety as I'm looking down at my long to-do list
right
here.
This list
all the kids stuff, all the things. So really great reminders. You're right. You got to ask for help.
You do.
Put it out there. Dr. Ziegler, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.